you're so beautiful and you're the best. And I want you to be the mother of my children. This whole thing. And in my head, I'm like, what is he smoking? Is he like smoking something? This is so weird. So we eat, everything's fine. We leave, everything's fine. We're walking in the parking lot and there's another BMW, white, tan interior, sunroof, looks identical to the one we just saw in the parking lot with a for sale sign in the windshield. I was like, what is this? Are you serious? This is a sign. And he's like, oh my gosh, let's call the number, all this stuff. So the number was somebody that was in the restaurant. We go in, we figure out, we get the keys. The guy's like, I'll be coming out soon. Open it up, check it out. We're almost done, whatever. I don't even know. So we go out, we're in the car. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Anyways, long story short, he's like, let's take it for around the block. Let's take it for a drive. I open up the glove compartment. I'm like looking around. And in the glove compartment, there's paperwork. And my ex's name is on the paperwork. And I was like, I think this is the same car. It didn't even dawn on me what had happened. I'm like, I think this is the same car. Like, this guy must be using this car. Like, maybe his dad works for the dealership or something, because your name is on this stuff. And he looks over at me and just starts laughing. He's like, are you serious right now? And then it dawned on me. I was like, oh, are you serious? He's like, yes, it's yours. So we get out. I'm crying. I can't even believe it. It looks beautiful. I'm all excited. We're taking pictures. I'm in the driver's seat. He's like, hey, open up the center console and see if there's a charger. I had like, I don't know what he said, but he's like, see if there's a charger. In the center console is a freaking thing for a ring. So I take it out. It was all antique-ish, which is like my style, with like our initials emblemed on it. Open it up and there's a beautiful engagement ring. I look over, he's on the ground, and he does this whole beautiful, not really long because narcissists aren't really like that, but it was nice. Like, I love you, blah, blah, blah. I'm shaking, I'm crying. I can't even believe it. I'm like, this is like over the top. Like, this is so romantic. This is so nice. Like, he really loves me. Like, this is really coming from a really good, because when you're with these people, you want them to be that person. You're like waiting for them to be that person. And this was like, he's this person. Yes. Yep. 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 So everything was fine. I was like so happy. We drove the car. We stayed overnight at a hotel. I'm ecstatic. We're talking about weddings. We call his mom. We call my mom, whatever. It's a full moon. It's like the longest summer day. It was like on that date, like it was all these things aligned. It was like so many things, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling all the feels. Like, this is right. I'm doing it right. We're aligning. I just have to be patient. And I'm going to get back all of the heartache and all of the work that I'm putting into this day and night, mentally, emotionally, physically, sexually, and with all the work I'm doing. And I'm going to pay off. It's going to pay off at the end. I can feel it. The very next day is my second sign. So wake up to head back down to Florida. He's driving the car that we came up in, and I'm driving my brand new BMW with a beautiful engagement ring on. Feeling so good. We pull off. We're like, finally in Florida. We pull off Daytona Beach, Florida. We pull off to eat. We're in the parking lot. He pulls in. He's very meticulous about parking. He pulls in, and I was like, I'm going to wait and pull in next to him. That way, there's not such a 100 chance of him complaining about like one or other side of the car I parked next to. So this way, it's only a 50% chance of him not liking the car that's parked on the other side of me, not like basically 100% chance, because he's on the other side. So I wait for him to get out, close the doors so that I can pull in. Well, while I'm waiting for him to get out of the vehicle, a car that's in the parking lot, I'm here trying to pull in, freaking backs up full speed into the side of my 1-day-old BMW. Just freaking smashes it so bad. So my ex runs up, just flips the fuck out at me and the driver like a psychopath. Now, did he do this all the time, but very rarely in front of people, like very rarely in front of people. And I had no money, so we were supposed to eat. He refused to feed us. He was like, this is going to cost me so much money. I can't afford to feed you now. I should have bought you a Kia. You're not worth this. I should have known better. This is why you don't have anything nice, is because you can't even take care of something for a day. Just off the rails for like 2 hours straight in this parking lot. Called the insurance company, was bullying this guy like you would not. It was horrible, all in front of my son. And my son was probably like 10 or something. I don't know, he was young. I'm crying. Like I can't even breathe. I'm crying so bad. And by the time all that fiasco was over, he did not feed us and I had no money. So we didn't eat. And my son didn't eat. And it's one thing to fuck with me, and it's a totally other thing to fuck with my son. And that was it. I was like, I'm done, 100%. I opened up a secret bank account. About a week later, I started 3 online secret businesses, all online, untraceable, and started making money immediately. Took me 4 years. It took me a long freaking time. It took me 4 years, but over the course of 4 years, I was able to collect $50,000. And just one random day, June, I collected my clothes, my son, and my bicycle, and I left. Yeah. Yep. Yep. 100. Yep. 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 Dude. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And everything else. What's so funny about that is there was, at that point, I was then running towards, so one of the things that he always used to say to me is, I would say like, why are you doing this? What is the point of all of this? But he'd be so mean. And when he would be mean and he would joke at the same time. It was really weird how he would do that. But I couldn't do the same thing. I could not joke if he was mad, but he could joke. And he would always say this thing for our entire relationship. He would say this thing about having a master plan. He'd be like, there's a master plan. And it's all part of the master plan. And he'd say it was funny. And when I sat down and so when I was driving back home in my now broke ass BMW, because it was so drivable, it just had like a huge dent in the two doors. I schemed the whole way home. I cleared my tears. I was like, there's no more time for all of this pity party bullshit, because I had already started reading about self-development, personal growth, because of my Google search. I was like, F this. I'm done with all of this. What am I gonna do? And the whole drive home, like 3 or 4 hours back home, or however long it was, I was just like, just bashing my head, just like, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? What is the next step? What is the master plan? What is my master plan? And that's what it became. It became, I did not want him to win. I did not want it to be where I left him with my tail between my legs, with no money in my account, moving back into my parents' house, like a broke 30-year-old, or however old I was at that time, like a failure. I refused. I was like, I have worked so hard at this point. So when I met him, he was pulling in between 200 and 300 grand a year. He was doing very well, but he was working in his little townhouse. He had an office in his loft. When he met me, I'm big vision. Like I am like all about growth. I've always been that way. When he met me, his entire company just blew up. We opened up 2 offices in Illinois. We opened up an office in Ohio. We opened up 2 offices in Pennsylvania, and we opened up 2 offices down here in Florida. I was like networking with all of these companies, all of this stuff. I was running sales organizations from all over, taking care of everything for him. And he had gone from making 200 or 300 grand a year to literally a million a year when I left, which is a huge feat for me. I never went to college, and which he would rub in my face all the time. He'd be like, you don't even know what you're talking about. You have no business sense. You never even went to college. So that was like one of the things he would do. But I was like, I don't want to walk away. He is getting all the houses. We own several houses paid in full. We own several cars. He, not we, several cars paid in full, 0 debt. And I was like, this is total bullshit that I've literally put so much blood, sweat, and tears into this. Because he would just say, like, yes, everything's in my name, honey, but like, you get to use all of the stuff. So his whole excuse for not paying me for so long, until like the very, very end, when I just was reading in personal development and basically was like, what is that called? Where you, not negotiate, but I basically gave him an ultimatum. Like, I'm going to leave or you pay me more. And I was running so much that he had to pay me more. So at the very end, I was finally making money. But up until that point, he was always like, all your money is going towards all of this. Like, you're able to live this lifestyle because of this. But when I leave, I don't get any of that. So like, it didn't, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't right the way it happened. We weren't married. And I freaking made sure I didn't marry him. That was like a whole nother story in itself, as far as like him begging me constantly towards the end. I was like, I got to hurry up and get the frick out of here, because I can't prolong this anymore. It's starting to be weird. We've been engaged for 4 years now. I couldn't hold off any longer. So anyways, I didn't want it to be where he won. So that's the only reason I was able to stay every day. Everything that he did or would say, this is what I would say to myself. What am I learning? What is he teaching me? What am I learning from what he is saying or what he is doing to make me better after I leave this situation? That's all I was doing. So every hiccup with business, every hiccup with personal, every hiccup with sexual, with communication, whatever it is, what am I learning in this experience, and how is this going to be? And that's the only way I was able to get through it, was just take it on as if he's a shitty teacher, just like the worst teacher you could